Hello everybody, this is DFW Storm Chasers reporting for Vortex Weather Studios. Today we're going to be discussing the severe weather threat over the South Central Plains, along with the severe weather threat across Dixie Alley tomorrow and into Wednesday. So, let's get right into it. First thing we have to look at is the Storm Prediction Center. You look right here, they have issued a slight risk for today until, well, this is for the rest of today into 6 a.m. tomorrow, which is Tuesday. They've issued this slight risk over a broad area from northwest Kansas extending all the way down to Wichita Falls. Now there's a 5 hail threat, 15 wind threat, and a 5 tornado threat. You might be wondering what that means. Basically, if there's a 5% tornado threat, that means that there's a 5% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of your location if you are within this area. Same with the 2, just with, 2%. And now, with the new updated Storm Prediction Center's guidelines, 2% means anywhere from 2% to 4.9%, and 5% means anywhere from 5% to 9.9%, pretty much. So, that means that there could theoretically be a 9% in here that's just not marked, because closest is 10. Anyway, on to the big threat, tomorrow. Now, we do have a slight risk extending from North Texas down to Louisiana. Remember, this is from 6 a.m. tomorrow until 6 a.m. on Wednesday. This extends from North Texas to Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, and almost goes to Alabama. I mean, the marginal does, but the slight doesn't. Same with Tennessee. If we look at the models here, we have a 15 hail threat, a 30 wind threat, and a 10% significant tornado threat. That means that there's a chance of tornadoes EF2 and above within this area, outlined within the 10. Now let's go to the HRRR. This is the most recent HRRR 22Z. And as you can see, it shows at 5 p.m., which is at the time of this recording, 5 p.m. Central, until about 9 p.m. Central, we have some mostly light rain and a few showers out here, all across Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. Now, around 9 p.m., you'll start to see some supercells firing near Liberal, Kansas, moving northeast. If we go up to Kansas, you can also see these cells as well, as they track near Dodge City. These cells will continue northeast overnight, causing mainly a hail and wind threat before, dying out. There's a small chance of tornadoes in here, so you just gotta be careful. You can see this big line extending from the Kansas border down south. And this will continue all the way to the east. If we go over to the DFW view, you could see right here, this is at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. And this is the CAPE, which basically is potential energy. You know how if you drop a ball, it has potential energy that it can use and transfers it to the ground. Same concept. You have potential energy here that can go up into the atmosphere and cause storms and tornadoes. So there is a small tornado threat, as we have seen, tomorrow morning in the DFW metro area. But it isn't just limited to the DFW metro. It extends all the way from where there's Cape, up near the Red River, down to maybe even Waco as it goes along. You can see this continues east. Now, this is the end of this model run because the hourly ones only go to 18 hours out, which is 16Z. However, if we go here, 18Z, 0Z, 6Z, and 12Z all have runs that go 48 hours out. So, if we zoom in here to Louisiana, you can see as these cells approach, as this big line approaches, it begins to kind of, disorganize, slow down. Now, the main threat tomorrow looks like it will be in Louisiana. you see these isolated cells moving northeast, tracking close to Mississippi. So this will be the main threat through the entirety of this period. Will be this section tomorrow, anywhere from 4 p.m. to about 9-10 p.m. in Louisiana. You can see all of these isolated individual cells. They all have potential to produce damaging winds, maybe some hail, but the main threat that we're looking at is tornadoes, because tornadoes usually come first in these types of situations. Now, if we go to the day 3 outlook, it is a slight risk over Louisiana to the Florida Panhandle and southwest Georgia. Now, the HRRR only goes to 18Z that day. You can see it has some isolated cells, but it's kind of messy. This is more of a wind threat down here. However, these isolated cells in southern Mississippi do have some potential. However, in order to see past 18Z, we do need to go to the damn 3 kilometer. And you might be wondering what 18Z is. 18Z is Zulu time, which is central, basically over where England is, because that's the prime meridian. It's that. So 18Z here is 12 p.m. Now, the NAM 3 kilometer does have a linear bias. That means that it likes to favor big lines of storms as compared to isolated storms. However, it does have some pretty isolated and severe storms moving across Louisiana in the evening hours of Wednesday. So this is a pretty big threat here, and it's nothing to disregard. Finally, for day 4, we have this threat over Florida, extending from pretty much the Keys to South Carolina. Now, not even the NAM 3 kilometer extends out this far. It only goes to 6Z on Thursday, which is midnight going into Thursday. But what does is the NAM. It's much lower resolution compared to the NAM 3 kilometer, but it does get the job done. This is that potential energy map again. As you can see, we have some potential energy extending up here into central Georgia. If you click on it, it gives you a certain idea of what the environment's going to be like. This is decent, a decent environment for tornadoes. But this shows some storms moving east across Georgia and Florida and maybe into southern South Carolina, producing. The main threat looks to be either wind or tornadoes, but it's still too far out to tell because, it's 4 days out. We don't have the models in that show what it's going to be like. So, that's pretty much it for severe weather, but we do have one last thing to cover, which is snow. There'll be the chance for snow up in South Dakota and areas up there. As you can see here, we do have quite a few areas right here that will likely be affected by snow and maybe even some ice in some areas. If we go to the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center's main website, you can see here, if we go to hazards, there's a blizzard warning up in Nebraska, blizzard warning in central Nebraska, northeast Colorado, western South Dakota, northeast Wyoming, and southeast Montana. Now, there's winter storms warnings extending all the way from Wisconsin to Utah. Even Salt Lake City is under a winter storm warning. So we have quite the event going on here in terms of snow and ice. But you got to keep your eye on the severe weather, as that is looking like the main threat across the South for Wednesday. And, well, mainly Tuesday, but then going into Wednesday and Thursday. Alrighty. Well, thank you all for watching. This has been DFW Storm Chasers for Vortex Weather Studios, and I hope to see you all next time.